Good day everyone. Our topic for today is all about the flip-flop with asynchronous reset. The generic time data type flip-flop with synchronous or asynchronous set and reset inputs is modeled by the T-type flip-flop with set and reset until the asynchronous set or reset is asserted. The Q and Qn outputs can only change state on the designated clock edge. Trigger condition parameter allows you to configure the clock edge trigger to either or a falling edge, also known as negative edge trigger, high to low, or a rising, also known as positive edge trigger, low to high. Label, clock to output delay. Parameter description. Delay from the triggering clock event until the flip-flop outputs change. Minimum CLK wide. Minimum valid clock wide. Clock wides less than this parameter will not trigger the flip-flop. Trigger condition. Determines the triggering condition on the flip-flop clock pin. 0 to 1 for rising edge triggered. 1 to 0 for falling edge triggered. Initial condition. Initial condition of the flip-flop output at time equals 0. Setup time. Minimum time before the triggering clock event that the input signal must remain steady so that a valid change in each input state is recognized. Hold time. Minimum time after the triggering clock event that the input signal must remain steady so that a valid change in each input state is recognized. Ground ref determines whether or not a device has ground reference pin. Any digital component that has an input or output pin connected to an analog circuit node must have its ground ref pin connected to an analog node. This is usually the ground on the schematic. Set and reset delay. Delay from the set or RST pin goes active until Q output is actually set or reset. Falling edge triggered. Asynchronous set or reset without ground reference. Designing a falling edge trigger asynchronous circuit without a ground reference introduces some unique challenges. Typically, digital circuits rely on a ground reference for stable operation. However, we can conceptualize a design that avoids explicit ground reference by using a floating voltage level as the reference point for the circuit's logic levels. Falling edge triggered. The circuit will respond to the falling edge of a clock signal, meaning it will change its state based on the transition from high to low. Asynchronous. The circuit can change its statement immediately based on the inputs, independent of a clock signal. No ground reference. This design assumes that all logic levels are floating, which typically means that the reference voltage are not tied to an explicit ground. However, to maintain functionality, the circuit can use a stable voltage level not connected to ground as a reference point. Circuit design. Components needed. The flip-flop, a D flip-flop will be the main component to implement the falling edge triggered mechanism. Voltage reference. Instead of using ground, we can define a virtual reference level that represent a logical 0. Logic diagram. The input connect to the data signal you want to store. CLK input connect to the clock signal that you will monitor for falling edges. Reset. If needed, connect an asynchronous reset signal. Q output. This will be the output representing the stored data. Defining mid-supply voltage as a floating reference for logic levels. For example, if your supply is 5 voltage, consider 2.5 voltage as the reference. Logic levels above 2.5 can represent logic circuit. Example, the flip-flop connect the input to the desired data input. Connect the CLK input to the clock signal, ensuring it responds to the falling edges. Connect the reset input to a control signal if you want to reset the output asynchronously. Connect VC to your positive supply voltage. Ensure that all components in the circuit reference the same mid-supply voltage as their logical ground. Timing diagram. A timing diagram would illustrate the CLK signal oscillating between high and low. The D input can change state before the falling edge of the CLK. The Q output changes on the falling of the edge of the CLK based on the stable state of the D input just before the transition. For building such a circuit, you could use a D flip-flop IC such as. The circuit will use a common ground zero voltage reference for all signals, ensuring stable operation and predictable logic levels. The flip-flop with asynchronous reset system Verilog with design. Module D flip-flop. Input logic D. Data input. Input logic CLK. Clock input. Input logic RST. Asynchronous reset. Output logic Q. Output. Output logic Q and complement output. Asynchronous reset behavior. If RST begin, Q equals 1 and else begin, Q equals D. Reset output to 0. Transfer D, Q on rising edge of CLK. Complement output. Assign Q equals Qn. Declare signal for the DUT device under test. Logic D, data input. Logic CLK, clock input. Logic RST, asynchronous reset. Logic Q, output. Logic Q, complement output. Initiate that the D flip-flop D, parenthesis D, CLK, RST, Q, and Qn. Clock generation, initial begin. CLK equals 0. Dump variables for waveform viewing. Initial begin. Dump file. Output file for waveform. Dump vars. Dump all variables in test bench. Inputs. The data input to be stored. CLK. The clock signal that triggers the capture of the RST. The asynchronous reset signal that sets the output Q to 0 immediately when asserted. Q. The stored output. Qn. The complement of Q. Signal declaration inputs and outputs are declared as a logic types. Clock generation. A clock is generated that toggles every 5 time units. Stimulus block. Various test cases are applied, including setting and resetting the D input and asserting the RST signal.
Good morning everyone, I am Moses Angelo Impili and I'm going to discuss binary to BCX converter. The binary system. The number 2 is the base of the binary numeral system. There are just two numbers in this base 2 numeral system, which is 0 and 1. Although the binary system was used for various reasons in ancient Egypt, China, and India, it is now the language of computers and electronics in the modern world. The most effective method for determining the on and off states of an electric signal is this one. Additionally, it serves as the foundation for binary code, which is utilized in computer-based devices to construct data. Binary numerals are used in even the digital text you are currently reading. Binary numbers are easier to read than they appear because they are a positional system, meaning that each digit is raised to the power of 2, beginning with the rightmost number 20. One bit is represented by each binary digit in binary system. So basically, the binary system is a way to represent numbers using only two symbols, which is 0 and 1. This base 2 system with 2 as the base is the language that computers use because it's perfect for representing on and off states like an electric switch. Each digit in binary represents a bit. When you see a strings of zeros and ones, those are bits that combine to make larger numbers of letters in digital data, including what you read on your screen. Hex system or hexadecimal system. The base of the hexadecimal system, or simply hex, is 16. 16 symbols are used in this base 16 numeral system. A, B, C, D, E, and F are the first 6 letters of the English alphabet, and these are the 10 decimal places: 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. The use of the letters stems from the necessity of using a single symbol to represent the numbers 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. In informational technology and mathematics, hex is used to represent binary integers in a more palatable manner. Hex is a language for writing binary in a condensed form since each hex digit represents 4 binary digits. Half a bit is made up of 4 binary digits, often known as nivelle. This indicates that binary values ranging from 8 zeros to 8 1 can be stored in a single bit. This can be more amiably represented in hexadecimal, which goes from 00 to FF. A 6-digit hexadecimal number can be used in HTML programming to indicate colors. 60 denotes black, whereas 6F denotes white. So basically, the hexadecimal system, or hex, has a base of 16. It uses 16 symbols, the numbers of 0 to 9, and the letters A to F, where A stands for 10, B for 11, up to F for 15. Hex is helpful because it can simplify how we write binary numbers. Each hex digit represents 4 binary digits or bits, making it a compact way to show binary data. In technology, hex is commonly used to make binary more readable. For example, in HTML, colors are written in hex. The color black is 6 zeros in hex, while white is 6F in hex. So why we need to convert from binary to hex? Binary can be lengthy and hard to read. Hex makes it easier by shortening long strings of binary into fewer characters.
So, to convert a binary number into hexadecimal, The process begins by grouping the binary digits into sets of 4. So it starts from the right. If the number of binary digits isn't divisible by 4, you can add leading zeros to the leftmost group to make it a complete set of 4. Each group of 4 binary digits can then be converted into a single hexadecimal digit using a reference table shown here. So, this table shows the corresponding hexadecimal values for all possible 4-bit binary combinations. Starts from 0000, which equals to 0, and up to 1111, which equals to F. After converting each binary group to its hexadecimal equivalent, you combine the resulting hexadecimal digits to form the final hexadecimal number. This method ensures an efficient and accurate conversions from binary to hexadecimal. So, we have this example, the notation for $B0101. So, the 4'B indicates a 4-bit binary number. 4 because it has 4 bits, 0101, and B because it means binary representation. So, the binary number is 0101. So, if we convert it to hexadecimal, it will be like this. So, each 4-bit binary group corresponds to a single hexadecimal, right? So, if we convert 0101, the answer will be 5 based on the table shown here. So, if the answer is 5, in System Verilog, this would be written as 4'H B. The reason is 4 means the 4 bits again, and the H means hexadecimal. Then 5 means the value that is converted by us. So we have more example with the notation 8'B 10101111. It indicates that we are working with an 8-bit binary value. 8 because it has 8 bits, and $B because it is in binary representation. So the number is 10101111. So the first thing we should do is to sort it into 4-bit group. Meaning, if the bits are 8, we have to divide it into 2 to make it to have 4 and 4 bits. So the first 4 bits will be 1010. If we convert it, the answer will be A based on the table shown. Then the second 4 bits will be 1111. We have to convert it, so the answer will be F in hexadecimal. So when we combine these two hexadecimal digits, we will get the hexadecimal value AF. If we convert it in System Verilog representation, the answer will be 8'H AF. 8 because we had the 8 bits from our binary digit. We have H as the hexadecimal representation. The representation that we converted binary to, and the AF as the converted value of the bits.
So now, we're going to explain the images below. In image 1, this image displays the System Verilog test bench module named TB binary to BC hex, designed to test a binary to hexadecimal conversion module. Inside this test bench, two main variables are declared. Bin input, a 16-bit logic vector to hold the binary input values. Hex output, a 4-bit logic vector to capture the hexadecimal output. The binary to BC hex module is instantiated with read set to 16, and the bin input and hex output are connected to its ports. In the initial block, several binary input values are assigned to bin input. Each input is delayed by number 10 times units to simulate sequential input and displays statement output. Both of the binary input and the converted hexadecimal output to the console. So this setup tests a variety of binary inputs including values like 1101101101001. To verify if the conversion works correctly, tool is parameterize with width, allowing it to handle different bit widths for binary input. Binary input is a logic vector that takes an input of the specified width, and hex output is a smaller vector size to hold the equivalent hexadecimal representation. Inside the always comb block, the conversion is achieved by directly assigning binary input to hex output. However, this assignment implies that the hex output directly reflects the hexadecimal portion of binary input. So in the image tree, this image shows the output from running the simulation with both log details and waveform visualization. The log section details each step in the simulation process, including compilation, initialization, and execute of the TB binary to BCX test bench. The output lines confirm successful compilation and displays the results of the conversion for each test input. For example, binary 1101101101001 is converted to hexadecimal D9. So, below the log, the waveform window visually displays the values of bin input and hex output. Over time, each binary input's hexadecimal equivalent is shown, confirming that the binary to BCX module produces the expected output. This setup verifies that the binary to BCX module accurately converts various binary inputs into their hexadecimal equivalents, with both the log and waveform providing functionality and correctness.
My name is Brian Razel Hernandez, and today we will talk about the 8-bit bidirectional shift register. So, what is it? What is a 8-bit bidirectional shift register? An 8-bit bidirectional shift register is essentially a chain of 8 flip-flops, each capable of holding a single bit of data. The key is that it can shift data in both sides or both directions, left or right, controlled by dedicated signals. Imagine a digital circuit that can store and manipulate 8 bits of data, shifting them left or right like a line of dominoes. This is the power of the 8-bit bidirectional shift register, a fundamental building block in digital systems. So how does it work? Flip-flops. The heart of the register is a series of D flip-flops, each is storing a bit. Control signals. These signals determines the direction of the shift. One signal for the left shift, another for the right shift. Serial input and output. Data is loaded and retrieved one bit at a time serially. And clock signal. The clock signal synchronizes the shifting operation, ensuring all flip-flops shift simultaneously. 8-bit shift register is load data. Data is loaded serially into the register one bit at a time, starting from the rightmost flip-flop. Shift left. When the left shift signal is activated, the data bits move on to one position to the left. The leftmost bit is shifted out, and a zero is typically loaded in the rightmost position. Shift right. When the right shift signal is activated, the data bits move one position to the right. The rightmost bit is shifted out, and a zero is typically loaded in the leftmost position. The application of 8-bit shift register is serial communication. Bidirectional shift registers are crucial for converting parallel data, multiple bits simultaneously, into serial data, one bit at a time. Transmission over a single wire or vice versa for reception. Data manipulations, they enable a variety of data manipulations including rotation, like shifting data bits circularly like carousel, reversing the order of bits uh, like flipping a word, and multiplication and division. Shifting left multiplies by 2 and shifting right divides by 2. When it comes to arithmetic logic units or ALUs, the brains of computers often use bidirectional shift registers to perform arithmetic operations. Shift registers can be used to create simple memory structures storing data for later retrieval. Key takeaways of 8-bit bidirectional shift registers. Bidirectional shift registers are versatile digital circuits that can store and manipulate data bits in both directions. They are essential components in digital systems, enabling a wide range of operations including serial communication and data manipulation and arithmetic. Their functionality is based on the sequential operation of flip-flops controlled by directions, signals, and synchronized by a clock. Different types of shift registers. Explore other types like serial in or serial out. We call it seesaw also. The other one is serial in, parallel out, or for short SIPO, SIPO. Parallel in, serial out, that's PISO, PISO, and parallel in, parallel out, in short for PIPO. The implementation of 8-bit shift register in hardware, that it learned how to implement bidirectional shift registers using logic gates and flip-flops. Applications in digital system investigates specific examples of how bidirectional shift register are used in circuits like counters, memory, and communication systems. Let's proceed to the example scenario of where or what is the use of 8-bit bidirectional shift register. Imagine if you want to transmit a byte of data over a single wire using serial communication. You can use an 8-bit bidirectional shift register to convert the parallel data into serial data. First is to load the parallel data. Load the 8-bit data into the register 1 bit at a time. And second, shift the data out, activate the right shift signal or RS, and clock the register. The rightmost bit will be shifted out of the register through the serial output or SOUT on each rising edge of the clock signal. Third, receive the data on the receiving end. Another shift register can be used to receive the serial data and convert it back into parallel data. Real world examples like bidirectional shift register are commonly found in integrated circuits like the 74LS194 or CD40194. When designing a bidirectional shift register, factors like clock frequency, power consumption, and input-output characteristics need to be considered. Another real-world applications, microcontroller communication. Microcontrollers often use shift registers to communicate with peripherals like sensors and actuators. Imagine you have a microcontroller sending data to a digital to analog converter. The DAC requires serial data, but the microcontroller outputs data in parallel form. We can use a bidirectional shift register to bridge the gap. One is to parallel to serial. The microcontroller loads the parallel data into the shift register. Number two, shift out. The register shifts the data out serially, one bit at a time, controlled by the clock signal. And third is DAC input. The serial data from the shift register is fed into the DAC, converting it into the analog signal. So in conclusion, you need an 8-bit bidirectional shift register whenever you need to efficiently manipulate 8 bits of data by shifting them left or right, convert them parallel and serial data, or create simple memory structure for sequential data access. The 8-bit bidirectional shift register is a powerful and versatile digital circuit with a wide range of applications. Understanding its operation and applications is crucial for anyone delving into the world of digital electronics.
Binary subtractor with Barrow detection. Theoretical discussion and design. When we subtract two binary numbers, we follow the same idea as a decimal subtraction, but in binary subtraction can sometimes cause us to borrow from a higher bit, just like when subtracting in base 10. So a binary subtractor is a digital circuit that performs subtraction of two binary numbers. The circuit needs to detect whether the minuend, the number we're subtracting from, is smaller than the subtrahend, the number we're subtracting. Let's go step by step and understand this is a simple term. Binary subtractor with Barrow detection. Designing a binary subtractor with Barrow detection involves creating a digital circuit that can subtract two binary numbers and detect if a Barrow occurs during the subtraction process. This can be useful in various applications, including arithmetic logic units and digital signal processing. Binary subtraction using one's complement. One's complement of a number is obtained by interchanging every 0 to 1 and every 1 to 0 in a binary number. For instance, the ones complement of the binary number 1102 is 001 to 0012. The positive sign is represented by the number 0. The negative sign is represented by number 1. Steps to perform binary subtraction using one's complement. Write the subtrahend one's complement. Then using the minuend, subtract the one's complement subtrahend. If there is a carryover in the result, and it's least significant bit. If there is no carryover, take the resultant's one's complement, which is negative. What is binary subtraction? Binary subtraction is a binary operation that involves subtracting binary numbers 0 and 1. Binary subtraction is the process of subtracting one binary number, the subtrahend, from another binary number, the minuend, to obtain a difference It follows similar principles to decimal subtraction but uses only two digits, 0 and 1. How binary subtraction works? Binary subtraction uses the same fundamental rules as decimal subtraction, including borrowing when the minuend bit is less than the subtrahend bit. Basic rules of binary subtraction. 0 minus 0 equals 0. 0 minus 1 equals 1. With a borrow of 1 from the next higher bit. 1 minus 0 equals 1. 1 minus 1 equals 0. When performing binary subtraction, if a 1 is subtrahend from a 0, you need to borrow from the next higher bit. This is similar to how you would borrow in decimal subtraction. Borrowing in a binary subtraction, when a borrow occurs, it means that the current bit of the minuend is insufficient to subtract the corresponding bit of the subtrahend. If you need to subtract 1 from 0, you borrow 1 from the next higher bit. This makes the current bit 2, binary 10, allowing you to perform the subtraction. When you borrow 1, it reduces the next higher bit of the minuend by 1. 0 and 1 below are the key rules and principles that govern binary subtraction, included how to handle cases where borrowing is required. Rule: 0 minus 0 equals 0. Borrow. No borrow is needed. Subtracting 1 from 0. Rule: 0 1 equals 0 equals 1. 0 minus 1 equals 1, but requires a borrow. Borrow. When you cannot subtract 1 from 0, you must borrow from the next higher bit. This transforms the current bit from 0 to 2, binary 10, allowing the subtraction. For example, if the minuend is 0 and the subtrahend is 1, after borrowing from the next higher bit, the subtraction proceeds as 2 minus 1 equals 1. 2 minus 1 equals 1. Subtracting 0 from 1. Rule: 1 minus 0 equals 1. Borrow. No borrow is needed. Borrowing. If you need to subtract a larger bit from a smaller one, you borrow from the next higher bit. For example, in the binary subtraction of 0 minus 1, you look to the next higher bit. If the next bit is 1, it is reduced by 1 and the current 0 becomes 10, 2 in decimal. After borrowing, you can perform the subtraction. Example of borrowing. Let's consider an example of binary subtraction with borrowing. Example: subtract 10 in decimal from 1101, 13 in decimal SCSS, copy code. 1 borrow, 1101, 13 in binary. 1010, 10 in binary. Subtract the rightmost bit, 0 minus 0 equals 0, no borrow. Next bit, 1 minus 1 equals 0, no borrow. Third bit, borrow needed. 0 minus 0, you need to borrow from the next bit. Previous bit is 1, which becomes 0. And current bit becomes 2. 2 minus 1 equals 0. Result in this position is 1. Final bit, 1 minus 0 equals 0. Binary subtractor with borrow detection, system Verilog with design SV and creating a binary subtractor with borrow detection in system Verilog involves designing a circuit that can subtract one binary number from another and provide an output indicating whether a borrow occurred during the operation. Below, I will provide a complete implementation of a binary subtraction, including the design and a test bench. This implementation will handle binary subtractor for two 4-bit binary numbers. It will also detect if a borrow occurred during the subtraction. Module binary subtractor. Input logic. Minuend. Input logic subtrahend. Output logic difference. Output logic borrow. Borrow output. Internal signal to hold borrow values. Logic borrow. Perform binary subtraction with borrow detection. Always come begin. Initial borrow is set to 0. Borrow 0. A 0. B 0. 1 0. Borrow for LSB. Difference A 0. B 0. Borrow 0. Difference for LSB. Calculate borrow for other bits. For I and T, I equals 1, I equals 4, I plus plus begin. Borrow I, AI, BI, borrow I minus 1 equals 1. Borrow propagation. Difference I, AI, BI, borrow I, different calculation. Final borrow signal. Borrow 3. The borrow from the most significant bit, MSB. Test bench for binary subtractor, test bench. Declare signal for the DUT device under test. Logic A, minuend. Logic B, subtrahend. Logic difference output. Logic borrow output. Instantiate the binary subtractor. Binary subtractor dot A, B, difference, borrow. Stimulus block. Initial begin. Test cases. A equals 4, B 0, 1, 0, 0. B 4, B 0, 0, 1, 1. Inputs. The minuend 4-bit binary number. The subtrahend 4-bit binary number. Outputs. The difference of A and B borrow indicates whether a borrow occurred during the subtraction. Logic. The subtractor uses combinatorial logic to compute the difference. It checks if a borrow is needed for each bit. It calculates the difference using the XOR operation. And if a borrow is needed from the previous bit, it adjusts the subtraction accordingly. Test bench module. Signal declarations, inputs and outputs are declared as logic types. Test cases. The test bench applies several test cases with different values of A and B, each separate by a delay 10.
Let's proceed to 8-bit adder subtractor unit. Introduction to 8-bit adder and subtractor unit. An 8-bit adder subtractor unit is a digital circuit designed to perform both addition and subtraction on 8-bit binary numbers. By using digital logic, it can handle two different operations with minimal extra circuitry, making it efficient for applications in basic arithmetic processing like in microcontrollers and arithmetic logic units or ALUs. The purpose is, this unit allows digital system to compute basic arithmetic operations. The design is very optimized by leveraging two complement arithmetic to handle subtraction as an addition of a negative number. Binary arithmetic basics. Binary addition. In binary, addition is done by bit by bit. Similar to decimal addition with a carry produced when the sum exceeds 1. 2's complements for subtraction. Subtraction can be handled by converting the number to be subtracted into 2's complements negative. This let us transform subtraction into addition, which simplify the circuit design. 2's complements explained. 2's complement is a binary system used to represent positive and negative integers. To negate a binary number in 2's complement, invert all the bits and add 1 to the least significant bit. For example, to represent negative 3 in an 8-bit binary system starts with positive 3, which is 00000011. Invert the bits to get 11111100. Add 1. This will result in 11111101. Thus, negative 3 is represented as 11111101. What are the components of the 8-bit adder subtractor unit? First, full adder circuit. Full adder circuit is a basic digital circuit that adds two single bits along with the carry in to produce a sum and a carry out. Each full adder processes a single bit from each operand plus a carry from the previous bit. In an 8-bit adder subtractor, we cascade 8 full adders, allowing them to process each pair of bits in parallel, with carry signals propagating from the least to the most significant bit. XOR gates for operand control. XOR gates are conditionally invert the bits of the second operand B based on the desired operations. Each bit of B is stored with a control line labeled as the add or sub line. If the control line is 0, the SOR gates pass B unchanged for addition. If the control line is 1, the SOR gates invert B, preparing it for 2 complement subtractions. The control line, add or sub. This line dictates whether the unit performs addition or subtraction. For addition, we have 0, and for subtraction, we have 1. When we set to 0, the operation is addition. When we set to 1, the operation is subtraction. Then B is inverted and the initial carry in to the other is set to 1. Complete the 2 complement inversion. Initial carry in. In binary addition, the carry in to the least significant bit, or LSB, is typically set to 0. For 2 complement subtraction, we set this carry in to 1, complementing the process of converting B to its 2 complements. Operation of adder subtractor unit. The 8-bit adder subtractor can operate into 2 modes based on the adder sub control line. In addition mode, when adder or sub is 0, the SOR gates leave B unchanged. The carry in for the least significant bit is set to 0, and the other performs standard binary addition of A and B across each bit position, producing an 8-bit sum and a carry out. Excuse me. When it comes to subtraction mode, when adder sub is 1, the SOR gates invert B bit by bit. The carry in for the least significant bit is set to 1, and which together with the inverted B enables the 2's complement subtraction, A plus negative B. The other then adds A and the modified B to produce A minus B as the result. So here's a walkthrough for the circuit. This is a step-by-step walkthrough of how the adder and subtractor handles an example in both addition and subtraction. In this example, adding 5 and 3. If A is equal to 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, which is 5, and B is equal to 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, which is 3. Set the add sub control line to 0 for addition. The SOR gate pass B unchanged since the control line is 0. The other receives A and B and perform the bitwise addition. Then the result for the two given is 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, which is 8. And that's how it works. For subtraction example, subtracting 3 from 5. For example, just like the example a while ago, A is equals to 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, which is 5, and B is equals to 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, which is 3. Set the add sub control line to 1 for subtraction. Then the SOR gates invert B bit by bit, changing it to 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0. The carry in for the least significant bit is set to 1. Then the other performs the addition 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1 plus 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0 plus 1. The result is 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, which is 2, representing the correct answer for 5 minus 3. In conclusion, the simple arithmetic 8-bit adder subtractor unit is a fundamental digital circuit that performs essential arithmetic operations, addition and subtractions on 8-bit binary numbers. By leveraging two's complement arithmetic, it achieves both operations within the same circuit. Optimizing space and efficiency, its design, which uses SOR gates and a control line to toggle between operations, illustrates a clever solution to binary subtraction by transforming it into addition, simplifying the circuitry. This unit is crucial in the design of ALUs within CPUs and microcontrollers, forming the backbone of more complex computations. And despite its simplicity, it demonstrates key principles of digital logic, overflow detection, and efficient circuit design, making it a valuable concept for students and practitioners in digital electronics and computer engineering. That's all. Thank you.